So students, continuing with the unit 3, we come to a very important concept, a very important topic, which is called transformation. You know, transformation. It's a in geometry. You have seen it's a process of change. If in a plain language, I have to make you understand is that uh, you have studied in geometry when position of every part is changed on a plane. It is called transformation. So if point B becomes point A will have to become something else, and it has to satisfy certain rules. Okay, you have all studied geometry. The process of changing position of every point on a plane in a way that it satisfies certain rules. It can't be haphazard. That is what is called transformation. We will come to the business definition of transformation also. I will try to give you the business definition of Deloitte, because I have gone through the website of various consulting companies, especially the top four: Ernst and Young, PricewaterhouseCooper, Deloitte, and a few others. And I found the scholarly articles there in the website of Deloitte. So they have defined the transformation process in a very nice manner. So we will discuss transformation, the definition, the process, and the challenges of transformation. I have also taken a case study of ITC company. ITC company, how Yogeshwar Yogi Deveshwar, he died in 2018. He was the longest serving CEO of any big company in India. I think he became a CEO in 1990s, perhaps 1995. He's an IITian, and briefly he was also chairman of Air India. Great man, Yogi Deveshwar, and he died. When he died, he was non-executive chairman, and he had shifted from ITC headquarters in Kolkata to Delhi. But he worked till he died. He was only 72 when he died, and I kind of admire Deveshwar for how he transformed ITC. We will have a case study of ITC also. What are the challenges Yogi faced, and Yogi Deveshwar? Yogeshwar, he was called Yogi in the business circle, not to be confused with Yogi Adityanath ji, our CM of UP. So Yogi Deveshwar's case study, we will take how he transformed ITC from actually just a tobacco company to a company which is not just a tobacco company. It is drawing most of its turnover from outside the tobacco business. The challenges, the process, all of this we will study in the process of transformation. Some students have asked me a question, सर ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्या होता है, अचानक सडन हो जाता है क्या, या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन? Generally, when we talk of transformation, first of all, we talk about transformation is in a certain defined time. When we are talking of transformation, if things have changed only incrementally, then it is not a transformation really. But if over the time things have changed, see, if you see transformation, you see there is a film you must watch on YouTube, the transformation of a caterpillar to a butterfly from the larva stage, and in 3 minutes it all happens. So there is a cocoon kind of a thing, and there is an organism inside it, and that organism comes out of that cocoon, and it eats up that whole cocoon, and it struggles for some time, and once again it builds a kind of a cell around itself, and once again it breaks that cell and comes out, has wings, and then first thing it does is it eats up whatever is left behind of that cell, or that shell. So the transformation from a larva to to a butterfly is very interesting. That is called transformation. It is sudden transformation. But sometimes big organizations cannot be transformed in 3 minutes, or in 3 weeks, or 3 months. So the transformative process, it takes time. It takes time. Uh, when I was working for Exxon in India, and when Exxon merged with Mobil, both the companies had a merger, and then they had their transformative process, because Esso was in India. Esso, Exxon outside US was known as Esso. Esso was in India. It came for lubricants, but they had this big picture of coming into the petroleum retail trade. So Esso was making losses in India, but when Exxon and Mobil merged, and as a standalone entity of lubricants, they said now their process, now their aim is to make to break even in the first or second year of merger, and they needed to transform. They transformed themselves by doing a very big product line reorientation. They dropped all the products which were run of the mill product, which were high volume and low value products. They dropped them. All the SO products were essentially dropped except for essential industrial products. Emphasis was given on the Mobil range because Mobil lubricants were considered to be state of the art. For example, Mobil number one, or the Caterpillar oil for Mobil's oil for Caterpillar. You know, Caterpillar are the big machines like excavators and dumpers and dozers, and they can use only one oil, which is cat oil, Caterpillar oil, and that is supplied by Mobil 100% worldwide. Or maybe one or two more companies may have been added by now, I'm not aware. So Mobil decided to transform, Exxon Mobil decided to transform itself in India as a in the way the lubricant company operated, and they said we will do we will do large scale promotions with our associates. So they started giving machineries to their to the workshops. They teamed up with mechanics and everyone, and they gave them machines like, you know, pneumatic tools, or a pulley or a jack or something like that, and they then tied up that capital infrastructure with particular investment or particular lifting plan of lubes. So okay, every month you have to purchase from us 1,000 liters or 2,000 liters, as the case may be. And it transformed itself into a plus company. Plus, when I say plus, which started to break even and contribute towards the profit. So the process of transformation was achieved by the team from Singapore, the regional team, and at that point in time, we had a CEO, Paulo Lanzarotti, and he had a team. They split all the businesses into commercial vehicle business, private vehicle business, industrial business, chemicals business, and this chemicals was a separate company. So, so on and so forth. So this was they transformed two different companies which were struggling till now into one company with focus, and it was possible by uh, clear-cut strategic plan for transformation. So we will study this. Another company which for which I will urge you all of you to see a video, which I will share a link, is how the not only a company but entire landscape of India, the milk landscape of India, was transformed under Operation Flood. How the founder of Amul cooperative, CARA, Amul Milk Union Limited, the Amul, the founder of Amul, how he transformed the Indian milk industry in a few years' time. From being a milk deficient country, India became a milk surplus country. Hats off to that genius called Varghese Kurian, the man from Kerala who settled down in Gujarat and who became the most celebrated son of Gujarat at that point in time, the father of the cooperative movement under the leadership of few political leaders, including Sardar Patel. I'll also urge you to see. So transformation is something, uh, everybody gets transformed over time. Physically, we are transformed as a tiny tot to an old man. But if transformation is brought about in with the intent to transform and with an objective, the end state in mind, then that is the transformation we want to study in this lecture. That is the transformation. We want to understand its process and its challenges. I hope you will enjoy this lecture. To explain to you the process of transformation and the challenges it poses, I have tried to give you a very interesting example which would be appreciated by you. Because if I talk about corporate all the time, this is you're already into second year of your graduation. So I have tried to bring cinema into my discourse today. But as you all know, cinema itself is a huge business. It is a big business. I will show you some pictures in the next slide also, and I am talking about the popular Indian film star called Amir Khan. Of course, Amir Khan has been of late dormant. His movies have not been released, I think, in the last 1 year or so. And during pandemic, as such, there has been no big release. And Amir Khan has also been known to be a person who is not only a good actor but is a very fine producer. He has directed also some movies, and generally considered to be the one of the intellectual actors from Bollywood, with his movies like Tare Zameen Pe, Jaane Zameen Par, and in this discourse I am referring to his film called Dangal. Dangal, which was released in I think December 2016. Yes, December 2016, and he plays the role of Mahavir Singh Fogat, who's a 52-year-old man. So perhaps Amir Khan was playing his age in the movie. So the Mahavir Singh Fogat, he has three daughters, and he wants to, and he sees a streak of passion in his daughters towards wrestling. And this Mahavir Singh Phogat has been a former national champion in wrestling. And he's leading a retired, not retired life exactly, but he's leading life of a nondescript life of a farmer. And when his daughter, Geeta or Babita, they show this inclination towards taking up wrestling, so that kind of fires him up, and he transforms his two daughters into champion wrestlers. And the movie ends with the elder daughter, who she wins a Commonwealth, a golden Commonwealth. It's a very brilliant film. It's a very emotional film, and I have seen this movie many times. And uh, hats off to Mahavir Singh Phogat, the gentleman who, see, this is also a kind of a transformation. He was he hailed from a particular state in rural India, in Haryana, where to think that women will enter into the field of wrestling was a taboo. But he transformed his daughter into a champion wrestler, and he fought against the might of the social obstacles that came his way. And how he does with how he achieves everything with a single-minded pursuit, but all the time he has the big picture, and he has the, when I explained to you, the transformation has to be, it has to satisfy certain rules. So his focus was that he should transform his daughter into a world beater. He did not want his daughter to just to be a district level champion or a state level champion. His focus was there, and he sells off his plot of land. He encourages his daughter to go to NIS Patiala, and he finds that the official channel of coaching was rather detrimental to the to the objective of achieving a gold medal. He gets into an argument. He gets into a altercation with the coach, and he goes and he coaches there. He coaches through long distance mode. So it was a great movie. But here we are talking of the transformation of Amir Khan, because he had to essay two roles. 80% of the movie was about Mahavir Singh Fogart, and 15 to 20% movie was about the young Amir Khan. And the young Amir Khan weighed around 55 kg, and the old Mahavir Singh Fogart weighed 97 kg, with a body fat of 37-38%. So he had Amir Khan had many options, but what was his single-minded objective was to look genuine on screen. He didn't want to wear a body suit, because he says you can wear a body suit under the clothes, but it will restrict his movement as a wrestler, and it would look artificial. It would look very bad. There was a movie in which Anil Kapoor wore a body suit and he looked very awkward. So he said, I will grow fat, and after I grow fat, after that I will reduce weight, because he says slim to fat will be easy. He, I have shown you a picture as to he's eating a lot of samosas. You can see the picture on the top left. So increasing the weight, and he splurged on high calorie food, and he had a ball basically, so to say, and he became fat. And his director suggested that let's shoot the young Mahavir Singh Fogart first. But Amir Khan was very clear. He says, if you shoot the slim version of me first, I will have very little incentive of coming back quickly to my original weight. So let me put on weight quickly. I will do the shooting of this, and then within three months or 4 months, I will come back to my old body shape. So after he had become 97 kilos and the shooting was over, and then they had to start the shoot for with a slim Amir Khan. Sorry, sometimes I'm saying some other Khan, Amir Khan. So he says the process of transformation of getting back to shape. He says it looked like a Himalayan peak to me. He says it was then that I decided. He says if you stand below at the feet of a very big hill, you will get discouraged. So he says, don't. I didn't want to get discouraged. I said I will take it one by one, one by one, one by one. The great batsman of my young time, my youth, when I was in school, Sunil Gavaskar also said, people asked him, how did you score these 25, 30 centuries? And he said, because I never look at scoring a century. When I go to bat, I look at maximum playing for that session. So when he goes in the morning, he goes to occupy crease for the next drink session, which is after 2 hours or something, or maybe 1.5 hours. And he says, after that, my focus is to play over overs of a particular bowler. When would I start to hit them? When will they get tired? He says, I break my big goals into small tasks, into small goals. And he says, then I start to play focus on delivery to delivery. It's a very good method of transformation. Have a big picture, have a big picture, have an objective. Yet in execution, overly don't be overly worried about the magnitude of the task at hand. Take one step at a time. Concentrate on smaller things. Break down your goal. So and then there was a plan. You have to plan. The plan was he will have to go to the gym. He'll have to sweat it out for 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours sometimes. 6 hours. Amir Khan had to sweat out in the gym, and it also had to be for accompanied by a diet chart. He could not exceed to take more than 2,500 calories. So a calorie plan was devised, and he says you can exercise as much as you want. If you don't, if the calorie you expend is less than calorie you take in, you can never reduce weight. So he had to spend much more than 2,500 calories. Perhaps he had to spend three. And let me tell you, if you walk 7 kilometers, you spend only 400 calories if you are 70 kg. It's not easy. But if you eat 3 chapatis, you have consumed 600 calories. Very tough, huh? Transformation. Understand this. If you have consumed 3 chapatis and dal and only three full cars, you have consumed 600 calories. And if you have dal also and sabji, you have consumed around 800 calories. I am talking of things which are not fried. Huh? And if you walk 7 kilometers and if you are 70 kg, maximum 350 400 calories. So, in the process of transformation, he had to do a lot of weight training. So, you should watch this movie. I have given the link of the YouTube movie. He says, I had to keep an eye on detail. What what was my body fat after 15 days? What was the size of my biceps? He had to take his weight every third or fourth day. He would say what is the progress, what is not his progress. He would take an inch tape. I mean, his team would do it. Once when he was doing weight training, he said, I can't do it. I cannot do it, he said. You have to reduce the weights. I cannot do it. So his trainer later revealed that he said, okay, I will remove some weight. And he would say, okay, I've removed some weight, now you do it. And then he'll say, okay, I'm able to do it. The trainer later on said he did not remove any weight. Placebo. Have you heard of placebo? If a patient is ill, you say you take this medicine, you will be okay. And the medicine is nothing but just a sugar candy or without any or inorganic or organic compound. Just maybe some sugary particles. And the patient thinks that because it is being given by a doctor with so much of confidence, he starts to think that, yeah, I'm feeling better, placebo effect. So Amir Khan said, okay, I'm feeling light. And with the same weight, he was now comfortable. Passion. He says he never gave up passion, although he felt, once or twice, he felt that he cannot achieve it. He cannot achieve it. And he says he has to trick his mind and he has to trick his body. So he has to keep giving auto suggestion. Okay, I'm doing it. So if you're not feeling, if you are still not feeling full after having 2 chapatis, and if you want to stick to a diet plan of 2 chapati because you want to transform your body, you have to tell your mind, oh, I am feeling full. I am feeling full. I am feeling full. So in a process of transformation, physicality is very important. Mentality is also very important. You have to keep giving yourself auto suggestion. You have to keep motivating yourself. The biggest motivations come from within, not from without. Okay? So, you have to trick your mind, you have to trick your body, and you have to be disciplined. I urge you to watch this movie on the YouTube. It is called Fit to Fat, Amir Khan's Body Transformation, Dangal, in cinemas December 2016. And Dangal was a huge hit. It was a super hit. So hats off to Amir Khan also, and hats off to Mahavir Singh Fogart and his 2 daughters who brought glory to India. This is transformation. Countries can be transformed. You can transform your life. You can transform your thought process. You can transform the thought process of all the people who come uh, in contact with you. You have to have that will. Have you not heard of that in a family of 10 brothers and sisters, one boy uh, who's very good at education, he goes on to top the school, then he goes to the college, and he becomes an entrepreneur or an engineer or a bureaucrat or an IAS officer, and he is able to lift the entire family out of poverty. Entire family is lifted out of poverty. Varghese Kurian, the founder of Amul, उन्होंने भी यही किया. He supplemented the incomes of rural India to a great extent, and he lifted many men and women out of poverty. This is transformation. Small, small things can have a transformational impact on life. Transformation is as much about strategy as it is about mental strength. It is as much about physical resources as much as it is about your spiritual wherewithal. I hope you will be inspired by this movie. In the next slide, I will discuss with you the business process of transformation. Students, let us now take the definition of transformation. I have explained to you transformation from 70 or 92 kg to again 55 or 60 kg. In case of Amir Khan, as he prepared for a role in Dangal, from a 52-year-old man to a young guy. Transformation. In business, in an organizational context, a process, mark my words, slowly बोलता हूँ, a process of profound and radical change. Profound, गहरा, radical, which is completely different. Fundamental change that orients an organization in a new direction is transformation. Once again, a process of profound and radical change. Radical does not mean very fast. Radical means fundamental change, radical thinking that orients an organization in a new direction. ऐसा बदलाव जो कि गहरा हो और आमूल परिवर्तन करता हो और आपके बिजनेस को, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को एक नई दिशा, नया निर्देश दे देता हो. And it takes the organization to an entirely different level of effectiveness. Effectiveness का मतलब क्या है? Effectiveness का मतलब क्या है? ये बॉलर बड़ा इफेक्टिव है. Effective means कारगर. So you transform your organization as an organization which is known to produce shoddy goods to an organization which is known to produce excellent goods. How Japan transformed itself once it embraced total quality management. When it invited the guys from US and Europe, the management experts from US and Europe to their country, and they sought their help in changing themselves. Transformation. Sir, is transformation like turnaround? Turnaround और ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन में फर्क है. कुछ लोग कहते हैं मैं टर्न अराउंड स्पेशलिस्ट हूं, मैं कंपनी को टर्न अराउंड कर देता हूं. टर्न अराउंड एसेंशियली मीन्स ए कंपनी विच इज मेकिंग ए लॉस, you make it into a profit making company. You turn things around. It can be a transformation also, but turnaround can be incremental. It is on the same plane. मैंने आपको last time transformation बताया, on a plane when point B becomes point A and A becomes something else. Transformation. One more definition: business transformation is a change management strategy. Once again, business transformation is a change management strategy which has the aim to align people. Align, लोग उसके तरफ align हो जाए. सिर्फ लोग नहीं. What should be aligned? People. Process. Technology initiative also should be aligned. Should be aligned with what? With the new strategy and vision. Let me explain to you. बेटा हर सारी की सारी definitions they appear very tough. So I am actually reading out from a website I have given on the class notes websites, rapidbi.com, and it's a secured website, HTTPS है, secured website. Business transformation एक change management strategy है. People, process and technology all are aligned towards what? The new business vision and strategy. Let me explain to you. You decide, you have a production unit, and you decide that you will become a near zero defect company. You will achieve Six Sigma. And that's the only way you can stand in the market and gain the confidence of a customer, of customers. So you will change all your processes. Production processes will be changed, quality inspections will be changed, manpower will be changed perhaps, or realigned or retrained. Vendor selection will go through a process of change. Pre-plant inspections will change. So entire production, logistics, supply chain will go through a process of change. Maybe new technology will come. People and processes will change. Business strategy क्या है? Zero defect company, near zero defect company and vision. Companies achieved it? Yes, companies have achieved it. Companies transformed, have transformed themselves, and companies who will not transform themselves because the business scenarios are changing rapidly. Companies which will not transform themselves will eventually die natural death. So many television companies were there when color TV came. Western, Televista, Telereda, Texla, around 20 companies. Vestavision. None of these companies have survived with the onslaught of imported televisions. But companies transform themselves. See, Samsung, even after so many mobile companies have come from China, which are cheaper mobile phones, Samsung constantly transforms itself. It is no longer looked down upon as a cheaper substitute for iPhone. It has upped its game. It is considered to be a premium product while remaining value for money. Everything about Samsung goes through a process of continuous change. People look forward to the new and new brand. For any transformation of a business or a business process, innovation is the key. Innovation, Navinikaran. Innovation is the key driver of transformation. Having a strong innovative capacity within the culture of business, it can accelerate transformation process. So you are in a LPG bottling plant and you are doing manual filling guns हैं, आप उससे सिलेंडर भर रहे हो, but suddenly you find that there is a company Chris Plant Kosan which has come in the foreign market, and there is a carousel, वो गोल गोल घूमता है, and the cylinders will come, they are pushed into the carousel space, and then each cylinder is filled 14.2 kg. You go for it, you innovate. So you don't have a mini plant, you get into mega plant. From being a plant wherein you were able to fill, let us say 1200 cylinders, now you are able to fill 6000 cylinders in an 8-hour shift. 5 times shift. So what is the capital cost? You take the capital. How much is the carousel costing? So you will bring the carousel, you will pay cost for carousel, the bank will finance it, your plant layout will change. So you will now spread the cost, amortize over 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. The cost of business, the cost of credit you will take, how much production will go up because of the production having gone up, how much income more will come to you, and you will do a cost benefit analysis quickly, and you have transformed your bottling plant from a bottling plant of 1200 cylinder per shift, per 8-hour shift bottling plant, to 6000 cylinder per shift bottling plant. This is a real story of a public sector company, Indian Oil Corporation. under the leadership of S.L. Khosla, who was a chairman, who was an IAS officer, and the director of marketing, Mr. Bakshi, B.K. Bakshi, and leaders like Subir Raha and Jacob Matthew, who was the executive director, A.N. Sinha, they were stalwarts. The company transformed itself in 2 years' time. It was able to multiply the bottling capacity. So, look at the contribution to the nation building by Indian Oil Corporation. By introduction of carousel, by introduction of technology, in spite of challenges from the workforce, it was able to transform the production of LPG in India from late 80s, late 80s to late 90s. This is called transformation. As I said at the beginning of the lecture, we will take the view of Deloitte on transformation. As Deloitte is a very big consulting company, they are into tax assessment, audit, best practices, business consulting, transformation, mergers, acquisitions. They advise company. It's a management consulting company. Turnover, I don't remember exactly, but for a company like Deloitte in 2018, the turnover is close to $16 billion. Not a small turnover, huh? Hefty, heavy turnover. And along with Ernst& Young and PricewaterhouseCooper and McKinsey, it's one of the big four, Deloitte. Uh, I have gone through their website. It reads that the word transformation, it gets thrown around a lot these days, but it can have different meaning for different individuals and companies. Deloitte says, in a world of unprecedented disruption and market turbulence, watch the word, unprecedented disruption and market turbulence. Do you know, can you give an example of unprecedented disruption? The disruption caused by Geo in telecom circle led to demise of companies, right? Merger of companies, realignment of forces. You need to transform. That's why Vodafone and Idea merged. It's a transformation. They have come out with V. Market turbulence. Market turbulence. Yesterday or day before yesterday, POTUS, President of the US, and FLOTUS, First Lady of the US, were diagnosed with COVID-19. They were COVID-19 positive, and it led to decline of Sensex, and it led to the decline in the stock market in the US and Japan. Market turbulence. Pandemic has caused huge market turbulence. So, transformation in today's world, which is disruption and market turbulence, it revolves around the need to generate new value. Let me simplify it to you. In this lockdown, in this pandemic, in this lockdown, unlock 5.0 or whatever, customer demand is different. So you have to generate new value for the customer. So you have to transform your organization. I believe that there is a company which has already announced that there will be a work from home policy till end of 2021. Transformation of workforce. The way workforce is engaged in the productive business of the company. All transformation require you to rethink how your enterprise will create value today and in future. And You'll have to think big, big, big. An idea came to my mind. I was consulting for a company which deals in supplying something to an aircraft. So instead of supplying that part to the aircraft on a sale purchase basis, why not tell to the aircraft manufacturer that this part is my responsibility? It's a vital cog in the wheel of the entire aircraft business. That I take end to end responsibility of this part. I will ensure inspection of this part. I will ensure repair of this part. I will ensure upgradation of this part, and I will ensure if a replacement is needed. Think of the transformation which was done by printer company. It said you don't have to own a printer. The printer will be an asset of the printer company, Canon or Sharp or whatever is the name of the company. And we will charge you a fixed amount per month. And in case your volume is very high, we'll charge you per paper basis. Isn't it transformation in the way a company is operating business? This will create disruption for the competition, isn't it? So your organization requires sustained growth in the face of new constant disruption. And if you must face this disruption, you have to transform. It is not enough to win today. It is not enough to win today, but you have to continue to evolve in the future. This is Deloitte's view on transformation. I think it's a super view. You should read this slide again and draw parallels from transformation of organizations to transformations which you will lead in your own lives. I think I think we need to dwell deeper into Deloitte's definition because it is so interesting. It is so interesting. Deloitte says transformation is necessary because there is unprecedented change, there is market turbulence, there is disruption. But it says it's an opportunity to define bold ambition that goes beyond incremental change. Once again, Deloitte says it is an opportunity to define a bold ambition that goes beyond incremental change. What is meant by incremental change? 200 रन चेस करना है, 20 ओवर्स का टाइम है, हर ओवर में 10-10 रन बनाने हैं, तो मैं 5-5 रन से शुरू करता हूँ, फिर 6 रन बनाता हूँ, फिर 7 रन और लास्ट में 12 या 14 रन बनाने लगता हूँ. इंक्रीमेंटल चेंज. Initially, incremental change means, just like arithmetic progression and geometric progression. Incremental change means small, noticeable, day-to-day changes. Transformation gives you an opportunity to think bold. It's an opportunity to rethink your business and the operating models. कितना अच्छा लिखा है. It's a bold ambition that goes beyond incremental change. The opportunity to rethink your business and operating models to deliver breakthrough values. Breakthrough value. It involves strategic decisions. Transformation cannot be brought about by, for example, if in our college we want to bring about transformation, we can be the agent of change to start transformation, but it's a strategic decision. We have to bring in the whole management and the student leadership and the administrative staff, everybody. It's a strategic relationship. All the key stakeholders we have to bring in, and that's why we go for a transformation. So if you want to transform a small engineering college to an IIT like institution, it will require transformation. It will never be achieved by incremental change. Transformation will be required. A moribund political party which is tottering at 25 to 30 MPs after having a very glorious past, it cannot come back to power by incremental change. It will have to do transformational change. So it will involve strategic decisions that will affect where you will grow, how your organization will operate, what kind of performance improvements you can expect, what will be the change in the leadership style, how much time your organization will require to adapt to that change. Will there be disparate elements because of the transformation process who will pull you into different directions? Will you be able to synergize them, bring them together? It's a great, huge new opportunity as per Deloitte. It's very interesting. Another interesting observation on the transformation process is it should not happen that while the transformation process is going on, your organization dies momentarily. It stops, it ceases to operate. Unless it is a planned, it's a planned closure of operations, you cannot say that because of the transformation, my organization died. The operation was successful, but the patient died. In medical fraternity, this is a very lame kind of a joke. So, as you respond to the shifting market demands and as you navigate through various complexities in transfer, there can be regulatory complexity. Suppose you want to transform your production facility, and this necessitates that you move your plant from Haryana to Coimbatore or to Vellore or to Bengaluru or from Maharashtra to Gurgaon. This will require regulatory complexities. Suppose you want to, suppose Indian Oil Corporation says we want to have just three refineries and we will do 100 million metric ton per annum of refining and we will close down all other refineries which are tiny refineries. It's very difficult to convince the government to do that. Although this will, refining margin will go up. Refining margin will go up. Of course, they will go up. The gross margin refineries can match the gross margin refineries of the Singapore refineries or even Reliance refineries. But this will require regulatory complexity. So you have to navigate this business process in a very careful manner. You cannot you cannot rush through a transformation process without proper planning. You have to proceed with caution because the risk of failure is great. But companies that can synergize all the disparate elements can achieve bold objectives in the near future. It's not a simple process, it's a complex process and it requires 100% attention of the strategy team and the top management. You and your team has to assess all the risks and you have to make a proper plan against all the risks. So it is not just not going from point A to point B. It is a matter of radical radical change in your organization. How your organization will look after the transformation process to what your organization was will be something which is drastically different. I know, I remember of a school somewhere in a town in a city in eastern UP, which was taken over by a large chain of schools, a very reputed chain of schools. They transformed that school completely, even renamed it. They rebranded the entire thing. You see, have you seen? I was speaking to some of the guys who work for Oyo Hotel. when they take over, when they give you a franchise of your hotel, when they sign you under your banner, they transform the hotel. The hotel may not be transformed from outside, because if you transform it from outside, you will require permission from all the authorities if you want to run it down. But inwardly, they will transform all the rooms, they will transform the management, they will put in an ERP system, a proper billing system. They will spend huge amount of money in ensuring that your sewage system, your water system, and your electric system is top class. That your room becomes an abode of comfort and hygiene standards are met. So it's not just that they come and put a board of Oyo hotels there. No, it's not. At least I am talking of. I did this study in 2018, so I don't know the situation right now, but it's not just a matter of putting your signage there. They completely transform it. When Shell in 1995, when they took over a petrol station of Bharat Petroleum at Mulchand, they transformed that fuel station, transformed it. If that station was selling 250,000 liters of petrol, it started to sell 800,000 liters of petrol. Everything was changed, from signages to fascia, uh, to the facade, to the rooftop, to the sales building, to the canopy, to the type of dispensers. It gave a new spanking new look. Salesmen were giving intensive training. Every salesman had a handheld, and every salesman had a machine which could accept a credit card. I'm talking of the mid 90s. So it was a complete transformation of a fuel station. You had to be there to believe the transformation of that station. I used to work for Indian Oil Corporation, and the sale of three or four of my petrol stations are impacted. So we planned, we thought of a Operation Chakravyuh kind of a plan to उसको हम चक्रव्यूह में घेर लेंगे that shell station, but we could not. Well, that station had transformed. I give full marks to Bharat Petroleum. They transformed the fuel station at Gymkhana Road in New Delhi, near the Prime Minister's residence. It was completely transformed by Shell. But it was not Shell. Bharat Petroleum did it on its own. So business transformation is a process, which is a strategic process, which brings about radical change in your organization. In this concluding slide on the definition and the process of transformation, let me give you 6 keys to transforming success. Again, borrowed from Deloitte. I have given the reference of the website, and I have given credit to Deloitte. So I want to thank them for this useful resource. First is, you begin with a strategy informed ambition. You cannot have wild ambition and you without having a strategy, and you have to translate this strategy into goals, into a very bold but realistic transformation ambition. So if you are a small shopkeeper, uh, in a gully or in a nukkad, mom and pop store, and you say in 1 year time I want to have 1000 stores across India, so this is a foolish, I should not say foolish, but this is wild ambition. Your ambition should be strategy informed ambition. So in how many years, in how many times can you from one store you can go to two store or three store or four store? I consulted for a guy who was a who was in the business of a specialized kind of garments, and he was the manufacturer and distributor, and he wanted to have a franchisee of such exclusive retail outlets, and he wanted to use the money of others. So people will pay him the fees to stock only his stuff, and he had an ambition of having 100 such stores. So he said, I want to hire you, and please you transform my organization. I said, it is not possible. Your ambition is very bold. I don't see your organization having the ability or the resources to match this. I did not take that assignment. Second thing is you have to lead with capabilities. So first was you begin with the strategy informed ambition. Second is lead with capabilities. You have to build your own company's capabilities along with it to establish a new trajectory that will help keep pace with the disruption. You have to lead with capabilities. Without enhancing skills, without enhancing resources, you cannot achieve transformation. The third is you have to drive to value. You have to take time to be explicit about how exactly you intend to create value. So if at the end of the transformation you are not creating any palpable value, then what are you transforming at? You just want to have an ultra modern plant. Does it mean that you want to have a plant? So this is not the value. The value is you want to have enhanced production. You want to have error free products. You want to have zero emission. You want to have zero carbon footprint. This is called driving to value. You have to be explicit. Fourth is build in sustainability. If transformation costs are so huge, it should not consume your entire current business. ये नहीं कि ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के चक्कर में आप खत्म हो जाएं. So you have to foster an adaptive organization that embraces new ways of delivering value. Fifth is you have to be agile and flexible. Implement the agile approach that delivers quick wins and iterative progress. धीरे बार बार progress होती रहे. You have to be agile and flexible. If you are going wrong, mend your way. Change your course. And sixth is invest in program talent. Keep leaders connected strongly to the focused roles in order to retain top talent during this transformation. So these are the 6 keys. Once again, begin with the strategy informed ambition. Then you translate strategy into goals. For realistic transformation, ambition. Lead with capabilities. Build the discipline needed to establish new trajectory for growth. Drive to value. You must understand what is the value you are going to achieve by the transformation. Simply to say that I want to be the cleanest factory. Of course, it's a good ambition, but you have to, how is your being clean adding value to your organization? If you say that I want to bring about a sea change in the hygiene factor of my organization so that my employee sick leave ratio, sick leave days, they reduce by 1/10. This is a value you are wanting to create. Build in sustainability. Foster an adaptive organization that embraces new ways. So sustainability has to be built in. Be agile and flexible. Invest in program talent. This is Deloitte's 6 keys to transforming success. In the next lecture, we will take up obstacles to success, obstacles to successful transformation, and we will also take the case study of Yogesh Deveshwar, the man who transformed ITC.